Yeah. Live and direct from the new planet Earth, where pandemics are plenty, but the girls are still pretty in fashionable dresses. You know what I'm talking about. Where ignorance is bliss, you ain't gotta give a about no code.
Tell me who unleashed our animal instinct. Why the op standing there tickle pink? Have a drink, no more liquor. Got a poison. One thicker, one gangster, one hole in the desert for the snitch. What happened to the cold? What's this?
Welcome back to another episode of the Franchise Podcast. And y'all, before we get started today, I just got to pick on this man right here to my right, Joe Arrigo, because last episode, if y'all were tuned in, they gave me a nickname called Nasty Night. But this man wanted to just play it out. He just want to play it out and use these terrible, lame analogies. He's close to his 50s, so he really doesn't even understand what Nasty Night is. He can't keep up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Anyway,
Who you thought I was? You must have got me confused with somebody you messed with back in the day.
Oh, man.
Like a couple of months ago.
Yo, hold on. Yo, this right here is getting too deep. Too deep.
Anywho.
I know this much. It's Gemini season. I'm getting off of this, what they talking about, right? They on something different. It's Gemini season right now. I got my G hat on.
Hey, I like that hat, by the way.
Right before,
That's a Negro League hat,
for
right?
the G's. No, it's not a Negro League
Oh, I thought it was a
hat.
Negro League hat for the
It's
Grays.
Anyway,
hat.
for all of our
It's
new
for me.
viewers, I am your host, Nyshawn Zaragoza, joined by Joe Arrigo.
What's happening,
the
everybody?
terrible joke guy.
Whatever.
And TQ is
Yep,
Gemini
yep.
season, so he's ready.
Please believe it.
Another year older soon. When's your birthday?
Birthday is May 24th. I am off to the islands tomorrow. So when this airs, I'll be on the beach somewhere.
Where's the islands?
Drinking. I can't tell everybody my
not?
business. You know, it's my business. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to the Grays, though.
That's what I'm saying.
This is a Grays hat.
All right, guys, let's get into it. We drinking vino tinto today. Yum, I'm very excited.
Agua.
Get it in.
No, he was just done with his drink in 2 seconds. All right, y'all, the WNBA regular season has officially kicked off, and a lot of the attention and spotlight remains on the Las Vegas Aces. We're going to cover that a little bit later in the show. So right now, we're going to start out with the NBA playoffs. It is officially conference finals. They're officially here. So excited. It's been a long time coming, to be honest with you. An exciting series that we've seen. We're going to start off with the East. We're going to do some previews and some picks. Joe, I want to start off with you. Do the Pacers have a shot against the Celtics?
Look, I'm going to tell y'all like this. Squeeze, you can relate to this. You're too young. You don't know this. You don't know this. You're still sipping Similac. So
Wait, the thing about older people, I'm a millennial, and I'm going to just stop you right there.
you heard about Gen
Y'all,
X? Go to
no.
TikTok with the Gen X thing and find
You
out what we're
guys,
talking
listen.
about.
The thing about people with age in them, with a little bit of wisdom, I'm just going to say a little bit. That's all I'm giving you. They
Give me
think
credit.
that what
Trish,
they
play the
believe,
violins,
like
please.
they're
Violins,
right.
please.
Let me speak.
Go ahead.
They think that their days are the best days and that we just don't understand, and we probably get it just a little bit more than you actually do.
Don't poke the
So,
bear with Gen
anyway.
X now, Nyshawn.
Anywho,
You learn.
to
y'all.
the East.
To the least. Look, no, honestly, the Pacers do have a shot. I don't think game one they came out slow against Boston. Boston is, I think, the best overall team left in the playoffs. But I'm a Laker fan. So let me like, I'm not thinking with my heart. I hate everything Boston, okay? I hate the Patriots. I hate the Bruins.
Yeah.
I loathe the Red Sox. The best thing that ever came out of Boston was New Edition, period. And Johnny Coppola, since he's the homie here, and his Uncle Johnny from the Foundation Room. Anything else from Boston, I'm not a Boston fan.
That legal seafood is pretty good up there. Shouts out. Clam chowder. Yeah.
No, you can have that. I'll just give me some Waffle House, some Roscoe's chicken and waffles. I'm good. So but real shit though. I think Indiana has a shot. I think in the middle games they have a shot though. I don't think it's gonna be early in the series. I think Boston, you've seen it come out hot. They're gonna come out ready to go at home. I think Indiana's a little tired from that series against the Knicks when 7 games, and they shot their lights out game 7 in that series. That was one of the best shooting performances I've seen for a team, I think, ever. And I look at Indiana as if they can do the same thing, they can give Boston some problems. Halliburton is a guy. If he was on the West Coast or on the East Coast or even with Miami, he'd be a national guy. Where everybody's talking about he may be a top 2 or 3 player in the league, maybe point guard in the league. Excuse me. When you look at the rest of that team, they defend well. They shoot the ball well. I mean, they do a lot of good things. Boston, I think, is a better team, but I'm gonna go with my heart. Come on, Indiana, knock them green bastards out.
Look, I think Boston's got this. I think Boston's been between Boston and Denver. I said it that was my pick for the finals. I think those were the 2 best overall teams in the league this year, and I just don't think that Indiana has the defense over a 7-game series to contend with Boston. And then when it really comes down to it, it's like it's their time. The whole Jalen experiment, it's time for it to come to fruition now. And, I just feel like they got the horses. I feel like they've had the horses wire to wire, and it's just not going to be an easy series for Indiana. Halliburton is a beast. That being said, I'm going to give him 2 games in this series. And before the Knicks series, I probably would have gave them 1. So I will say incrementally, they can get hot. And it's always possible for Boston to come out and have those weird games where they look like they just didn't wake up. So I think that's good for 2 games, but I'm saying Boston in 6 into the finals.
I like your point as far as Boston having the games where they needed to wake up, because the thing about the Pacers is they have been very alert and extremely confident, and it's a nice switch up. Like, it's nice to see that. All right, y'all, we're going to head to the West Coast because the West Coast is the best coast.
Please
okay?
believe it. Please
Timberwolves beat the Denver Nuggets in a 98-90 thrilling Game 7 victory. Joe, we're just going to bounce right back off to you. Timberwolves, Mavs, who you got?
Man, look, I said it a few weeks ago. Been saying it to you guys. Anthony Edwards reminds me of Michael Jordan 87. I think what we've seen in this last series against Denver was a lot like Jordan against the Cavs. That first series, going back in time, Jordan played the Bucks. They beat the Bucks in a series where they weren't supposed to win that series. They go against the Cavs, which they matched up well with. They matched up well against Denver. They beat Denver in 7. Now you go to Dallas. Unlike Jordan, when they played the Pistons, him and the Bulls played the Pistons, I like Minnesota to come out this series. Anthony Edwards, to me, is the best player remaining in the playoffs. He's my favorite player in the league right now. I can go ahead and say it. No questions asked. You can say what you want about him. He's got something in him that you see with elite special players. And he's got the personality to match. He's not sitting here like, oh, well, I'm indifferent after a win. No, he's out there like, yeah, like, I told the locker room attendant I'm be coming back for Game 7, and we were going to beat their ass, and we did. I like our head coach because he gets in my ass, he gets in his ass, he gets in everybody's ass. He don't care. He ain't playing. If we're fucking up, He's going to tell us. I love the fact that he's so honest about that. That's reminiscent of Kobe to me. Kobe was brutally honest like that. The difference between him and Kobe is he's got awareness where Kobe didn't have that awareness as a player because he didn't know not to tell somebody in Happy Thanksgiving before they played Thanksgiving. He was just like, I'm here to play ball and I'm going to do my thing. Edwards is a little more aware of that. So overall, I like Minnesota. I like Minnesota.
Of these comparisons, man. Kobe and Jordan and all of this slurpage that's going on right now. We ain't seen Anthony Edwards do nothing. Nothing.
He beat the Denver Nuggets.
The man play some ball pretty good for a season. And you want to compare him, you and everybody else. It ain't just you. All the talking heads. Oh, Jordan. I don't see nothing Jordan about Anthony Edwards yet. Why? Because he ain't gave it enough. That's not his fault. He ain't been around long enough. I'm not going to throw around comparisons to Kobe, comparisons to Jordan. I'm not doing all of that. I will say this much, that most of the time when you have
Joe's on the lookout.
Younger teams
looking for the hater spray
going up against older teams, a lot of times when you find out the truth about the younger team is during a 7-game series.
Yeah.
This is about to be a 7-game series. It's going to continue to get harder. The fact that Luka is not healthy I'll give the series to Minnesota because of that. But I'm not just going to underestimate Kyrie Irving, number one. I'm not going to put all my eggs into Big Cat and Rudy Gobert because they're not consistent when it comes down to what they bring to the table, the motor and everything else. They make a lot of stupid mistakes, and those stupid mistakes against somebody, against a basketball savant like a Kyrie Irving. And if Luka can give you something, I think it'll be an interesting series.
Okay.
That being said, 4-2 Minnesota, because you don't have a full Luka. And because it's absolutely possible for them dudes to get hot and play that
Wait,
defense.
hold up. Let's run it back.
What?
Because before the show even started, you said you wanted
I do.
Dallas.
I want Kyrie
But
Irving to win the
logically,
championship.
you're picking the Timberwolves.
He's not going to win the championship. I believe that it's going to be Minnesota versus Boston, and I believe Boston wins the title.
But okay, so I don't care if Luka's hurt or not. He's still playing. And,
That's fine.
And you're
you
talking
say a
about
lot of silly shit.
you're looking at
mean?
Denver. You're talking about Denver. They knocked out the champs at home in Denver.
Okay.
And they were down by a dub. And Mike Malone and his stupid ass are not taking the Joker out when they're up by 20. I don't want to hear that they were tired. I don't want to hear that.
You never want to hear it. That's why you're not a coach.
No, because
That's the
he made
point
the
that I've
decision to not
That's the
pull
point
him
I've
out
been
when they're
making.
up by a
You
lot.
can't pull him out because he sees the team that he's playing against, and he knows that this 20-point lead is fool's gold, as it was. A real coach that knows his squad understands that. I've said that on this show numerous times. You have to know who your squad is. There is no perfect player. Don't care what you say. You talk whatever you want to about Michael Jordan, Kobe. Go sit down with Phil Jackson. He'll tell you there was no perfect player. Pat Riley will tell you there was no perfect player. You have to know your strengths and weaknesses. You have to know that about your team. If you've taken a team and won the championship, you know what they can do and what they can't do. He was not in a position to be able to take Joker out. He had to roll the dice because he knew the game wasn't over yet. That's why he left him in. And what happens? The same thing that happened to him in the series versus AD. Gassed at the end.
I'm glad you brought that up. You're right about 100%. I agree 100% about that.
Better than the average player when they're gassed. He still didn't stop being Joker, but he didn't have enough to take him over the top against this particular team.
What I find funny is his lame ass brothers weren't running around talking shit after they lost.
Why would they be, bro? Why would they be?
They always want to smoke with somebody, but they didn't want it with Ant-Man. They don't want it with Ant-Man. And look, and I say this in all seriousness, and I was serious with what I was saying, folks, but I'm also saying like from a real sports person's point of view. Looking at the series against Dallas, you go backcourt for backcourt, Conley and Ant, Luka and Kyrie.
That would be fun.
Okay. I don't think Dallas has the front court to match up against Cat and Gobert because Gobert was the key to last game. The second half for Minnesota against Denver, their defense was crazy.
But in the 3 games that Denver won,
He wasn't.
Gobert looked like Swiss cheese.
No doubt, but
So that's my point that I'm making. You never know what you're gonna get from him and Big Cat every night.
But
you know what you're gonna get from Ant every night.
But he doesn't have to go against Joker every night against
Facts.
Dallas. So I don't expect to be Swiss cheese. He could be Bermuda. He could be Provolone. I don't care as long as he does his job.
What are these cheeses, bro? Those shit. What is? Have y'all ever heard
He
of?
said provolone.
I wasn't gonna
Bermuda
say government cheese. I
Provolone?
mean,
He
I
said
never heard of
provolone?
these cheeses
Provolone,
before.
whatever. I ain't gonna say government
Lord.
cheese.
Man, get your shit together,
Provolone,
man.
whatever.
My goodness.
I don't care.
All right, so the next question I was gonna ask, what was your guys' standout players? And I would say not even just during playoffs, but over the course of the series, over the course of the seasons. We'll say that. So we'll say regular season now into playoffs. Who has been your most standout player
That's still in it.
that's still in it?
Yeah.
And you said Anthony Edwards. So
Anthony Edwards, and I would say too, if I'm going to East, Jason Tatum. I mean, Brown has been playing his ass off, but those would be the guys to me that stand out.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving. I don't know. I don't think people appreciate how good of a player Kyrie is. He really doesn't have his only weakness is a God-given weakness, and that's his height. If he was taller than what he is, we be talking about him as the best player in the NBA.
He's still fun.
He's like he doesn't have a weakness, and he knows how to make his teammates better. I love to watch him play. I hope they can compete down as they are, because missing Luka, regardless of what you say, next man up or whatever, a 65% Luka Doncic is a big handicap for Dallas, especially going against a team like Minnesota. But again, man, it's just like I picked Denver to come back and win the series against Minnesota when everybody had them dead after the 2 games.
Yeah.
You just can't underestimate champs. When people win rings, it takes a certain kind of person to persevere through a series and win a championship. And for me, that means a lot. I'm always expecting those guys to go above and beyond and pull a rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah.
So Anthony Edwards did that, but persevered and slayed the dragon. Was a key component for them slaying the dragon.
What are you saying?
Wait, I'm going to run it back for our guests. Before this show, we were talking about Anthony Edwards, and Joe was comparing him to Michael Jordan. Everybody knows he's been getting these comparisons. We know what Anthony Edwards is capable of, what we've seen him do, but TQ and I agreed that we need to see more at the age of 22 years old. We know that he is the best two-way player. So that is just a little rundown so that you guys understand what Joe is talking about. Now you can continue.
Well, I'm just saying, like, from just his skill standpoint, just everything about his game, the way he dribbles, that first step, the way he fit. There's a lot of Jordan and even younger Kobe in what, not younger, middle.
It's very possible for Anthony Edwards, knock on wood, to come out and blow an ACL tomorrow, and we never see this again. So that's why I'm not going to sit up here and compare him or compare anybody at his age that has been playing as long as he's been playing to the great ones, because you never damn know. We have one of the guys in the GOAT conversation is still playing now. He's 50 years old.
Now he's older than me.
40,000 points. Like, bro, it takes more than just flash in the pan, a couple of series, a couple of 40-point games, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with Brunson. Brunson is a beast, a hell of a player. I would love to be in a position. I might start a team around that kid.
Yeah.
But I'm not about to compare him to the greats because I have not seen it sustained yet. Do I believe that Ant can sustain this and take it there, and in a couple of years from now, I will be saying something different than I'm saying right now? I absolutely believe that. But I ain't about to do it right now because I ain't seen enough.
I think if he was on the Lakers, you would say a different tune.
No. No, I wouldn't. Lonzo was supposed to be so great.
Didn't think so.
B.I. was supposed to be so great. D'Angelo Russell was supposed to be so great. All of these guys were supposed to be so great.
But they haven't done. None of them have done what Ant is doing.
What do you mean?
Ant's better than all of them right now.
Agreed.
And they haven't slayed the dragon like Ant did.
What dragon has he slayed?
You said a champion.
Yes.
You never took the Rudy T thing. Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
Yes,
and it
sure.
takes a special type of person to go in and do it.
All right.
He did it on their home
Do
court.
it again. How many times did Kobe do it? How many times did Jordan do it? Compared to the people that you're talking about, your argument don't make sense because there's no way for you to come up with enough tape. No way.
So
you know what your argument is? Your argument is New York for Biggie.
No.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's the same argument. Biggie was a great rapper. Great.
Bring it back.
Ant is a great player.
You
a
see who I'm wearing.
wonderful player. We haven't seen enough of him yet. Can we just calm down the slurpage? This is the bottom line. When you go back to Kobe and you go back to Jordan, you watch the game, then you got to wait on SportsCenter or the evening news to replay the greatness. Now, as soon as the greatness is displayed, pick up your phone, you can watch it 100,000 times by 100,000 different people posting it. So because we see these things happen so much over and over and over and over again, we just start tossing out names like we throwing up mashed potatoes all over the place. No. Don't just toss out Jordan's name and Kobe's name like they just regular people. These is superhumans that you watch do this over and over and over again. 11 championships between those two players. Anthony Edwards has zero.
Let me make this clear.
No hardware whatsoever.
Let me make this clear. I'm not saying he's Michael Jordan.
Stop comparing him to him.
I see from early Jordan, right before he got to greatness, before his game went to a completely different level above everybody else in the NBA, in NBA history, I see a lot of similarities. And that's what I'm saying. The first step, the way his jump shot, his
Did you
mid-range
see
game.
those similarities with Dwayne Wade?
No.
Did you see those similarities with Eddie Jones?
Nope.
Did you see those similarities with, name a two guard?
The only other
Because
person was Kobe Bryant.
All of the other slurpers, though, since the dawn of social media, there has been this thing where we just you won't let Anthony Edwards turn into Anthony Edwards.
No, I want him to
You
be.
have to compare him to this person or that person.
That's
and there's
sports.
no comparison yet.
That's
it's
sports.
just not.
That's sports.
No,
Kobe
it's not
coming out of high
sports.
school. This is going to be the next Michael Jordan. When LeBron came out, same thing. They all get compared. That's just sports. That's what people do. And the problem is, you bring up social media. That's a whole nother problem. Too many people think they have an opinion that people care about and have too much access to people. I'm a firm believer in general. There's a locker room, a clubhouse is not for a fan. It's not for, as Tony Cordasco would say, fanboy media. It's not for people who have blog sites that feel like, oh, I can write and I'm going to go in this locker room and I'm going to start talking to players and act like no, being a media person, there's credibility behind it. There's your name behind it. There's a company name behind it. You have to be honest and respectful. And you're not paid for your opinion unless you're a columnist. You're paid to report. There's far too many people on social media that feel their opinion means something when Dave from Georgia's opinion don't mean shit.
These opinions, when there are millions upon millions upon millions of them, influence you. They influence you because years ago, you would not be comparing Anthony Edwards to Jordan or Anthony Edwards to Kobe. The reason why you do it is because everybody else and their mama is, and it's constantly in your feed. It's a part of your algorithm. It's a part of their algorithm. Common sense should tell you, maybe I should temper this down a little bit and let me wait and see what this kid can actually do. Because he might have just had a great season, and that's it. Because that's happened before.
I've never compared anybody to Jordan other than Kobe.
Okay.
That there's certain people that are unattainable. I don't compare LeBron to Jordan. To me, LeBron is compared to Magic. I've said that.
Did you compare him to Magic when he was in high school? No.
I wanted to see what he could do when he gets to the league.
Everyone. Thank Joe for making my point.
And that's what I did with Anthony
Edwards.
Edwards.
My case is closed. That's all I have to say. I'm reserving my comparisons to the great ones for later on because I do believe Anthony Edwards has what it takes. I'm going to have to see a little bit more than 1 or 2 seasons.
All right, y'all. This conversation is going to be never ending with y'all, which is the most interesting part.
You should see us at a table with some real drinks.
Saying, man.
One beer was not enough for him. All right, y'all.
This is how this company got started. Us doing this. Let's be honest.
All right, y'all. Coming up next, the WNBA is investigating the 2-time defending champion Las Vegas Aces after every player received a $100,000 sponsorship. When we get back, Joe Rigo is going to tell us his thoughts on this matter. Welcome back to the Franchise Podcast. All right, guys, let's break this down. The Aces are in the spotlight quite a bit, but this matter hits a little bit different. Every single player received a $100,000 sponsorship from the LVCVA, which is Las Vegas Tourism Authority. Now, in this sponsorship, they were connected to each of the 12 players' agents. So this was already done, kind of in place, already discussed ahead of time. But right now, they're saying it's an unfair advantage. So, Joe, I want to hear your thoughts on this matter, and do you believe that it's an unfair advantage?
I'm going to start with the former versus the latter. First of all, credit Steve Hill and the LVCVA. Steve Hill is one of the reasons, if not the main reason, why Las Vegas is now the sports and entertainment capital of the world. Steve was instrumental in the Raiders coming here with the Stadium Authority and helping secure the funds for that up in Reno. He's doing the same thing with the A's. And now he found a loophole in the WNBA CBA to reward the Aces for being back-to-back world champions and being great ambassadors to the city of Las Vegas. Now, where it could be an issue is the league salary cap is $1.4 million in the WNBA. This deal is worth $1.2 million. So basically, the Aces are getting an extra $1.25 million, essentially, than any other team. But the problem is this. New York, L.A., Houston, Chicago, they all can do it too. Golden State, when they come in the league next year, they all can do it too. Phoenix can do it. Charlotte. Now, can they do it? Will they do it? That's another story. But don't penalize the Aces for being visionaries. Don't penalize the city of Las Vegas for rewarding and really trying to find ways to help the players, because Sydney Colson, who's, I think, the best personality in all the WNBA. I love Sid to death. She makes $75,000 and change. This is more than what she gets paid. The first round pick for the Aces is making $67,000. So they're being rewarded for this. And if they win, they get a raise next year to do it again. It's a 2-year deal. So for me, I see nothing wrong with it. Could it be an advantage? Right now it could. But other cities can do it too. So I don't want to hear anybody from the WNBA say anything about it, because at the end of the day, these are your rules. The city of Las Vegas played by them. They just found a way to win.
I mean, I've been to a lot of WNBA cities, and I would venture to say, when it comes down to market share and interest, the A's are more interesting here than other teams are in their home markets. Like, they mean more to the city of Las Vegas. You go into the arena and it's different. Yeah. Like, you go to a Sparks game, it's not the same, bro. It's just not. You can see it on TV. You watch the broadcast. I got the league pass, and you can see the support in the stadiums. Yeah, I mean, the Caitlin Clark tour is going on right now, so it's a lot of places that are sold out. But we've been shooting the Aces now for, 5 years?
Since we started.
And, like, the growth, it's been exponential. So when it comes down to market share, they should be rewarded for it, because what they do is they offer a good time in Las Vegas, right? The other entities that offer a good time in Las Vegas thrive, right? Those players get paid, right? The shows that come in here, Usher entertained us out here for almost 3 years, right? He got paid. You understand what I'm saying? Cirque du Soleil gets paid. These casinos, everybody that offers a good time in Las Vegas gets paid. Ain't no way in the world the best basketball player in the city of Las Vegas, a 2-time champion, should only be making $200,000 a year.
Crazy.
That's ridiculous. And some of these rules, the need to or the decision to investigate, I do understand that there's a collective bargaining agreement, right? I do understand that they're trying to guard against super teams and having an unfair competitive advantage. But the bottom line is, y'all not going to beat this team no way. These girls about to win another championship anyway, because they're flat out better than every other team. You could give every other player in the league $1 million apiece and don't give the Aces nothing.
Take them to church.
They're still going to win the championship.
Preach.
Period, point blank.
Time for the people in the back.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, get upset at Mark Davis, get upset at the general manager, get upset at Becky Hammond. They put together the best team in the league. They're the 2-time reigning defending champs on their way to a three-peat. So get over it. It's $100,000. It ain't came out your pocket. Let them live. Hopefully, on the heels of people like Caitlin Clark and a couple of other ones that are in the league right now that are going to be box office next year. Juju, Paige, a couple of other ones.
Juju got a couple years.
Look, this thing is going to continue to grow, hopefully. And as it grows, salaries should grow. Vegas should be leading the charge in that. Why? They lead the charge in everything else.
Going back to the unfair advantage, I think a lot of people are really focused on this because in turn, it can give players an extra incentive to come play for the Las Vegas Aces. Joe, I know you've mentioned this and talked about this a little bit earlier, but how do you feel about that? Like, should players desire to come for the Las Vegas Aces? Do you think that's going to end up becoming, I don't even want to say a problem, but a situation that we will encounter?
They should want to come play with the Aces.
Absolutely.
You got the best owner in the WNBA that values and loves his players, and he does the same thing with the Raiders and Mark Davis. Shout out to MD for being a visionary and what he's doing with the Aces.
Right.
People don't talk about Mark enough like that. What he's done, and shout out and to Nikki Fargas and Becky. No, their intro. This is like the belly intro.
Cold-blooded.
Cold. Like whoever came up with
Cold-blooded.
that, salute. That is. But they had the best interest last year too.
Yeah.
And the year before that. So like, they have their finger on the pulse of the city, and players recognize that. They like, damn. Aisha Clark came here, she wanted to win. Candace Parker came here, she wanted to win. So winning breeds that culture, and players want to be around that culture. And they see it starts at the top and it works all the way down to from Mark to Nikki to Becky, who's the best coach in the WNBA. Like, she's an NBA coach coaching against WNBA coaches. That's the difference. So players love her. They let the players be themselves, which I love the fact that they allow them to show their personalities and be who they are. I mean, I don't think it's a problem. I think if it's a problem, it's a good problem. For other teams, it's a bad problem.
I kind of feel like, though, just when you just look at these rules, man, it's just like, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth because, like, here we go again. I just feel like a bunch of, like, old men
Talking about us again there?
sitting in a room just, like, calling these shots to just kind of just keep their foot on women's necks. Because, to me, this is just, I mean, it's just unnecessary. Once again, you know, I do have a business hat. I do understand that there's a bargaining agreement. I do understand, again, there's got to be a competitive balance. But at this point, man, what grows the sport like great teams? It's about great teams. Like, I'm a huge English soccer fan, right? And so you got 6 teams there that constantly place in, like, the top 8. And those 6 teams make all the money. And then you got the rest of the league that's just pretty much trash, right? And that's just what it is. But the bottom line is, as good as those 6 teams do every year, just grows the league more and more and more. Like, you know about English football because of Manchester United being so successful, right? The Cowboys, we can hate them all we want. The brand, when they do good, football is huge, right? The Lakers and the Celtics, when they do well, football is huge.
The Yankees, the Dodgers.
Yankees and Dodgers with baseball. It's just the same thing, and this is what it's become with the WNBA. And if they're smart, look at the now, the present. The Aces are the present, right? The future is Caitlin Clark, Juju
Watkins.
What's my girl from UCLA coming out? Paige Beckers from UConn. Like, the future is bright. These girls are not only good basketball players, but they got personalities. They can carry the sport. They have a certain look and a certain vibe about themselves that people want to align their products with.
Right.
The WNBA is at the edge of blowing up. Let it happen.
Absolutely. And yeah, the Premier League is in English soccer or English football is a good comparison, because then you got teams, let's say Indiana, they could be like Wrexham, where Wrexham was in the worst league in English soccer, and now they're 2 tiers away from going to Premier League,
right? Because
they have owners that invested in Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney.
That's what it's about.
And shout out to them for being at the Cosmo this weekend. for
Setting it off.
and not even calling your boy. Like, I'm your fan. Like, I'm the one here. Come on. But but I'm just saying, but that's a good comparison.
I mean, they'd be smart to watch how it's done, man. At the end of the day, you want your league to get these big, huge, explosive TV deals. And the only way that's going to happen is if the masses get a hold to the sport and begin to love it. And we know from shooting this, if the masses are able to get a hold to the sport, they will begin to love it.
No one's this is the best the WNBA has been as far as fan engagement and people watching games and liking the sport ever. Why hinder it?
Right.
And that's what the WNBA is doing with this investigation.
Right.
I really like the example that you use in regards to soccer. Like, that was a really good example, but you also use the analogy that you feel like there's a bunch of men sitting in the background, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel that the commissioner, Kathy, has a role in this situation?
You know what? I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the dynamic between her role and the NBA kind of being the lead dog and owner of this league. But it just feels to me that there is, okay, this whole charter plane thing, I didn't know until this week that teams were penalized for having chartered flights from outside sources. Mm-hmm. So like a person could come and say, okay, hey, you guys can use my plane. You got a long flight from LA to New York. So I'm gonna let you guys use the company plane to charter your flight. And the team would get penalized for doing that. Like, come on, man. Something about that just seems like some type of servitude. You know what I'm saying? Let me put you beneath me just because I believe you're supposed to be beneath me.
Like Uncle Cleophas is running things.
Yeah, whatever the case. It stinks of that to me. And when I take that and I compare it, you know, we come out, we shoot the games. Trish makes a highlight reel. We post it. There's always some asshole. Always some asshole that comes into the comments. Do people watch this?
About a highlight reel?
Are they men? Are they women?
Get
are they
a
this?
life.
Yeah, that's
period.
what I'm saying. So it's just
It's a highlight reel.
Those kind of things just there has always been, there probably always gonna be, you know, these guys. I don't know if they're afraid of women, if they just on some old barefoot in the kitchen.
Nah, they're
thing.
LOP.
I don't know what it is.
They got LOP.
What?
Lack of
Bleep that out, please. My goodness.
That was a good one.
No, but now to answer your question about a commissioner in any sport, they work for the owners. All she is no different than Roger Goodell. Your job is to take the bullets for the owners because the owners aren't going to take the bullets. Mm-hmm. And you need to answer the tough questions because the owners don't want to answer them or are not going to answer them. So and I think she's in a tough position because if you don't allow this to happen, are you looking at something that's misogynistic or sexist because they're women? What if it was a male player? What if it was a male team? What if it was the Lakers and they're, hey, you know, we're going to give every rookie $100,000, every player extra $100,000 because you guys are going to cut a commercial for us to come to LA. Like, you're going to tell the Lakers they can't do that? No, right. That's an endorsement deal.
Right.
So there shouldn't be an issue with it. It's just the fact that other teams, probably some teams that have Uncle Cleophas as an owner, are the one that's probably like, we don't want to do this.
It just may be much ado about nothing, man, because they may not have a case. At the end of the day, it's an endorsement just like anything else. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see it fall off. But we got to move it along, y'all, because we trying to beat the traffic from the Aces game. And it's currently at the end of second quarter on track. All right, y'all.
Watching. Sheesh.
I'm not about to be second traffic. Coming up next is the meme machine, and y'all should already know what that is. We pick a favorite meme, and we break it down.
You got took.
This section was brought to you by Coldwell Banker Premier Realty. Coldwell Banker is a service-driven, highly productive team of professional sales and support people who are dedicated to consistently providing superior real estate brokerage and related services, setting the industry standard of value and excellence.
All right, welcome back to the Franchise Podcast. Guys, when things are done in the dark, they always come to light. And when things were just getting a little bit quiet, stuff's just started blowing up, y'all. As y'all know, a video resurfaces online of Diddy physically assaulting his then girlfriend, Cassie. Diddy then came out with an apology. TQ, I know you feel very strongly about this, and I'm sure everybody else does as well. But give me your thoughts about the video that you watched and also the apology that you heard.
Par for the course, man. This ain't nothing new. I've been knowing about this. I've been knowing about dude's actions with numerous women, too many women to count. My thing is, if I wasn't whistleblowing when I knew it was going on, I'm not gonna sit here and whistleblow now. That's the problem that I have with a lot of this. A lot of people are talking now when they could have talked a long time ago, and a lot of us, for whatever reason, some of us had valid reasons, some of us didn't, chose not to say anything. At the end of the day, it's disgusting. He's a disgusting guy. Always has been a disgusting guy. I've detested this man for the better part of my adulthood, and for this reason. A lot of people attribute my disdain for this guy over the Pac situation, and that definitely plays a huge part. But more so than that, it's the ill treatment of women over and over again that I know of personally. That just how I feel about the dude, man. It makes my teeth are grinding in the back. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand him. None of this to me has never been a joking matter. So you know how the no Diddy thing goes around and all that. I don't say that shit. I'm not trying to say it. First and foremost, I don't care about nobody's sexuality. I could care less about what you like sexually. You like men, you like women, you like everything. I don't care about any of that. But to take what you want by force, to manipulate people by, playing with their livelihood, playing with their families, playing with their mental and emotional state, when you know the position that you hold and you know how unattainable it is to most people, how many people dream about being in the position and you being the person that can take them there, man, the amount of people that this dude has hurt, has dogged, I hope he gets it. I want him to get it bad. I want to see the man suffer. I want to see him suffer publicly. Like, this is the times when how back in the Game of Thrones days where you just guillotine in the square. That still wouldn't be enough though. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude needs to really suffer some torture, because what we saw in the hotel room, I'm here to tell you, as bad as it was on the camera with Cassie, as bad as it was, par for the course. It's a long line of them that could come out and tell you that the same thing happened to them. Some of them can't speak anymore.
Before you speak, Joe, what is so interesting to me though was a couple months ago she came out with this lawsuit, right, against Diddy, and then everything was dropped, which was extremely weird. And then this video resurfaces. So
it wasn't dropped. It was settled, and her attorney she had was very smart. Because they sued the corporations, not him individually, which forced them to not only alleviate him from those corporations, but also settle quickly, because if it prolonged it, it would have been way worse. So she really cut his dick off, in all honesty. Yeah, it was smart. She emasculated him, and her husband, and God bless him for it. Yeah. Look, honestly, look, what he did to her and others, and God rest a few of their souls, horrendous. Yeah. Horrendous. This is a guy who, for a person of color, to be in the position he was, as you said, it's unattainable for most. Yeah. For him to do this and take advantage of that power and the women in his life, which are possessions to him, and not valued at all. Trash. Everything that he gets coming to him is deserved. That apology was bullshit.
It was
it was like, oh, I got help. No, you didn't.
It's like, just shut up.
And you're on some beach. You're probably somewhere.
And then has the nerve to say God forgives, so he'll sir, you've done some crazy things.
You can't sell your soul and have God forgive you.
First of all, you're the devil's son, and you pissed off your dad. and your dad got a cake baked for you. I'm sorry for laughing, but I know your dad. And that's the bottom line. You pissed him off. All that he's done for you for all of these years, you fucked around and pissed him off. And I'm glad you did, because he's on your ass like white on
There's
rice
a reason
now,
I wore the
buddy.
Pac shirt today.
Yeah, nice work.
Honestly, there's a reason. Pac
Nice
tried to
work.
warn everybody.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, and the thing is, you come from the music side, I come from the radio side. We had to deal with A&R. We had to deal with them and trying to even deal with them for like concerts and things like that.
Yeah.
Danity came when I was down at U92. We did they did a 10-year anniversary concert. I was up at KQCM running that station, but because I did the morning show there for so long, Ant Dog was like, come down there with us.
Yeah.
So we're down there with Danity. Bro, like, you can say what you want about them girls, them young ladies at the time. I felt bad for them.
Bro, he wore them people down, and he does it on purpose. He grinds them down. I worked on 2 separate female artists that were signed to the label, and it's part of why I can't stand the dude, because I watched how he grinded those girls down, and literally trying to work with them and trying to get them through a session of singing is like getting them through a psychiatry session. You know what I'm saying? Because just the amount of playing with people's brains, trying to groom them into whatever he wanted to groom them into, just the whole, it's just, I hate it. I've always hated it. Sorry, Mom. I know I'm not supposed to say it, but I hate this dude. And it's like, I cannot wait for him to get what's coming to him, because I don't want him walking amongst us to keep me out of heaven.
But how come how come it hasn't already happened? We see all of these things coming together. What's gonna happen? How come it hasn't already happened already? How come he's not locked up?
It hasn't happened yet
what's going on?
because his daddy is the devil.
Look.
I'm not gonna say no names, but I'm gonna say your daddy is the devil, boy, and you must have pissed him off.
Look, okay, I'm gonna say this to the camera. Like, Squeeze is being really nice, and he is really. I'm being serious. He's measuring his words very nice. He's being very articulate with this, because our conversations between me and him that even Trish and Nye aren't privy to.
Yeah.
Different. And
you hitting walls? Or
no,
what?
no, seriously. And the reason why no one said anything, Nye, is because when you're in that, it's an ancestral industry.
Yeah.
So same thing with sports media. It's no different. Like, he's working in music. There's no 3 degrees of separation. It's less than 1 degree of separation.
Facts.
And then, you're running these labels, and you can pay this money to these corporations that own radio stations, and you can pay and these streaming services don't play his shit anymore. Now you're cutting someone's income off. Oh, we're not gonna put him in a movie. I got this person. You got women who are scared because he's gonna blackball them from making money, and then some of the women have been silenced for life. Like, he had them killed. Or they're dead. Let's just say it. So if that's allegedly, we put allegedly on that. So if that's the case, no one's gonna speak. God bless Cassie and her husband. Her husband, who saved her from him and has been on dude's head from the beginning, is the reason why things are the way they are. I seen a video of he ran a 50K run or a 5K run for battered women.
Who?
Her husband.
Oh, okay.
And at the end, he is exhausted. You can see just the strain and exhaustion exuding from his body. She's holding him, and the look on her face is pride, but it's also like it was sad. It was a look of hurt, and like, but then the love, you can see the love for him in her eyes, just like the appreciation for a man that saved. So Cassie got the ball rolling, but there's a lot of, it's no different than the Drake situation with Kendrick Lamar. There's a lot of people behind the scenes waiting for this to happen, because shit rolls downhill. I'm gonna keep compiling stuff on her. Oh, I could do it.
But at this level, man, look, dude, to answer your question, why this man pissed somebody off. He pissed the wrong person off, and the snowball effect of him pissing that person off. When you sell your soul, you have to complete the job.
Sheesh.
And if you don't complete the job, you are gonna go down in the worst way. And it looks like he didn't complete the job. He
You can
pissed
go
the
down
wrong
in the
person
worst
off.
way, period, selling your soul.
I mean,
Let's
hey,
just be real.
Yeah. I mean, but I will say this much: when you don't complete the job, it seems like you go down publicly. It seems like it's for the world to see, and it seems like they want it to be for the world to see. So that part I am happy about.
And it's slow.
But everything
Yeah,
you're doing in
exactly.
your career is for the world to see. So
Facts.
you're going to go down for the world to see. Like,
Facts.
you're living for the world. That's exactly what Diddy was doing.
See,
I think that, but I also think that whoever he did piss off, that person understands his vices.
yeah.
They understand how to humiliate him in the worst way, how to bring him down off of the pedestal. And it's happening now. I hope it continues to happen because I love to see a person that thinks that they're so strong and so powerful just shrink into that much of a bitch. The person that we saw with that punk ass apology.
You
To
know,
see that motherfucker that weak being that much of a little hoe, like, hey man,
He's trying to filter his.
I loved it.
you know what? I've said this to you, and that's one of the reasons me and this man have over the 20 plus years of knowing each other gotten so close. And the love between us, I think the bond we have is damn near unbreakable. Because from his music side, from that side, he was just you were always genuine and honest. And I can't do that, but I can do this.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I think after Cash Money, things kind of went left a little bit versus going the way it was going, because you said, no, I'm not selling my soul. I'm not doing this because my afterlife, my character, how I was raised by moms and pops,
this ain't right.
it ain't worth it.
Right.
And that's a respect that, like, I think I know Super James, other people have with Squeeze versus some other artists. Because when you're on the radio side and you deal with artists, it's completely different. Because it's like they're gonna come in and it's like, what do you want from me? And it's like, we gotta give, and it's like, we get you for this amount of time, but it's always something.
Yeah.
Play this record, or get me this, or I need 3 women, I need cocaine, I need this, I need that before I go to the club. And it's like, you're just performing at a little hole in the wall. Like, are you kidding me?
Some of these people, man, I think you just have to understand that, like, there are some people that just want it so bad, right? And they run into those type of people, and some of them have all the talent in the world. But when they run into the wrong person, when that type of artist runs into a Puffy or a couple of these other predators that we have running around the music industry, it just goes from bad to terrible, because they understand what your vice is. They're going to continue to feed your vice to get every bit of that talent out of you for their pockets, basically. And then it's move on. Let's get to the next one. Well, at that point, that kid or whoever it was, they're used up, right? Mm-hmm. They walked into this person that they probably had on the wall, right? That they thought was, oh, he's so great, and then completely jerked them, right? So what does that do for you mentally? Like you were saying with Cassie and her husband, you kind of see it in her eyes. Like, you can see what the girl's been through. Bro, the stories, bro. That what we saw on tape.
Bro, with Cassie,
that wasn't nothing.
We did a show. Sean One and I created a show called The Fifth Element. It ended up being called The Basement. We started Fifth Element up in Yucca Valley, and then we took it to Palm Springs. It became like a West Coast hip hop show. But The Fifth Element was, there's 4 elements to hip hop. There's rhyming, dancing, DJing, and art. But me and Sean both felt the fifth was representation. So we did basically a bootlegs and B-sides type show. Sean got Cassie's Me and You record, I would say, a good 8 months before it even came out. We were like the first people to play it. And I had that as a power in rotation because I was like, yeah, this record is just a good record. And to find out, like, I think Ryan Leslie low-key produced it, how Puffy took her from Ryan, who is a phenomenal producer, ruined Ryan's career. I mean, that's when I was kind of like, damn, like, this dude is. And then you hear the stories about it.
Yeah.
And it's infuriating, but yet in our line, you got to play his records. At that point, you had to.
Yeah.
Because you got to pay bills at the station.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel horrible for her. And
Well, I mean, I don't feel horrible for her no more.
no, I do, because she still got to live with it.
I mean, yeah.
No amount of money can cure that, bro.
Yeah, but she got money. She got love. She's in a much better position
that's true.
than she was in. So I celebrate her being delivered from it, because that was a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? And for the other ones that didn't make it out of it, the ones that have passed away, the ones that have had to suffer, their careers suffer, the ones that have been blackballed, the ones that have just been unfairly and unjustly treated by this one particular person and his entities. Hopefully pretty soon you guys will have your justice, man.
There is an artist that I do want to touch base on, and it's rapper Cam'ron, who made an appearance on CNN. He refused to discuss the video showing Diddy assaulting Cassie, but then plugged his sexual performance drink. Then he asked off the camera who the talent agent was. He said, "Who's the talent agent off this joint?" Like, he was trying to figure out who set him up with CNN, and didn't know it was a conversation that was in regard to Diddy. I want to hear you guys' thoughts about that.
Cam knew when you get told what you're going on for. Credit Abby Phillips. Abby was a professional.
She was extremely
She
professional.
handled herself. You could see the look on her face, like she looked like this Negro, but she was,
It was all in the eyes.
And it just was like, damn, I watched it and I'm like, I can't believe Cam is doing this. I like him in Mace's show. And again, if I'm the talent booker, I'm getting Mace. I'm not going to get Cam. Mace was signed. I've had this conversation at Clark Atlanta with Mace. Like, after he left, we were in Son's Pizza right there on campus having a conversation about, man, Diddy ain't paying me nothing. I'm up. They do a lot of weird, man, he weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that appearance, it was a bad look for Cam, I think. He knows better. And you're on CNN. If you're on one of them mainstream media, let's just call it that type of place, you got to conduct yourself differently. I don't care.
No, you don't.
Yes, you
No,
got
you
to have
don't.
some type
But
of.
he claimed that he thought it was in regards to how well his show was doing. Do you think
Why would
that's true?
CNN want to have his show? Like, they don't care about.
Well, here's the point, though. So what? Don't call me on here to talk about Puffy punk ass. I don't want to talk about him. Everybody in the industry knows that this dude is a slug. Cam don't want to talk about Puffy. I wouldn't want to talk about Puffy. You wouldn't want to talk about Puffy. Don't bring me on here to talk about him. Because if I see it come across the desk saying that CNN wants to bring you on to talk about Puffy, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
So you think the talent booker, like for CNN, like slipped them a Mickey?
No, did not slip him a Mickey. Gave him the opportunity to talk about, told them that they were going to give him the opportunity to talk about his show, and slickly wanted to throw some Puffy shit in there because Camden's show is doing great.
It's phenomenal.
All right, do you think more people watch Camden's show or Abby Phillips every night?
You know, I don't know. I'm gonna say that.
I'm gonna say Camden's show.
I'm gonna say, hey, I'm looking at the Target demos and whatnot that are my pigmentation. I think it's gonna be CNN.
Well, maybe for your pigmentation. What have you ever watched Cam's show?
Yeah.
All right.
Watch a lot.
But
I'm different.
But they consider themselves the anti that.
Like we do.
So, but even more so, like we at least have a little bit of structure. We're a news corporation. They're not. They're there to be who they are.
Right.
So I got no problem with what he did because I believe that CNN tried to pull a slicko.
They probably did.
And it bit him in the ass.
But it's no different than radio. If I call you up and say, hey, I need you to come on, or you call me, if TT called me and said, hey, Verb, I need TQ got an album. Okay, cool. We can talk about the album. You don't want to talk about everything and then get to the album, so tell me about the album at some point.
Okay, but you're not gonna talk to me about no weirdo. You ain't gonna talk about weird ass Puffy. I'm gonna cuss you out.
Yeah.
Right or wrong?
No, you're right.
All right, so Cam said the same thing. Now I don't want to talk about this dude. Don't nobody want to talk about him. Don't nobody like him. None of us like him. Period. Nobody in the industry likes him.
Meek Mill.
All right, I give you that.
See, I'm saying, like,
It Is What It Is has 578,000 subscriptions. I know that probably has nothing to do with actually how many viewers they have. And then CNN is ranked top 5 of most watched. So
and it's global. But
Yeah.
before we go, I do want to say this. Raider Nation lost a legend, the original Raider Jim Otto, on Monday or Sunday. Mark Davis once again showed his love for the team his father owned and the team that he owns in all of Raider Nation by driving down and lighting the flame for Jim Otto, who is a Hall of Famer and meant so much to Raider Nation. So I think I speak for all of us when I say our thoughts and prayers go out to the Otto family and all of Raider Nation with the loss of Jim Otto.
Yeah. I think the Raiders do an amazing job at being able to recognize the greats. And although I was not even thought of at that time that he was alive and playing, but just to hear all of his accomplishments, it was really nice for sure, because it's true. The Raiders wouldn't be who they are without the legends or without their GOATs, without the people who have started the organization. So that was nice.
Yep. I'm going on vacation. I'll see y'all soon. Follow me on all my social media. I might be talking crazy on some beach somewhere. So tune in with me all week. It's officially Gemini season.
He needs a secluded
Birthday's on
trip.
the 24th.
Don't be on social media.
Hey, it's going down. Check this out. The franchise shirts. They online right now. Go to the shop at the website, franchisesportsmedia.com, and you could get you a shirt. You can't get the white ones. That's for the big dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
But we got them in red, we got them in gray, and we got them in black.
Don't forget, next week's folks, we have Radio Row interviews for the next 2 weeks, or at least the next week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on if he's too drunk when he comes back.
Hey, blame it on me, man.
How long are you going for?
Every year about this time. Normally 3 months. I'm gonna try to shorten it a little bit this time.
You go for
around.
3 months?
No.
That's insane.
I'm gonna be gone for a week, then I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna go again. And then I'm going to come back. I might go again. You know what I'm saying?
What a nice life.
I'll go.
Right?
He can just get up and
We
just
don't do nothing.
leave.
We go on vacation, man. Look, man is old. You know what I'm saying? I got to go lay down on the beach, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Well, the franchise wants to wish you a very happy
Thank you very
birthday, you
much.
old man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you,
tuning
thank
in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit those alert buttons. We'll see y'all soon.
Live and direct from the new planet Earth, where pandemics are plenty, but the girls are still pretty in fashion over dresses. You know what I'm talking about. Where ignorance is bliss.